Hi, it's Heather with another and unexpected R-rated review. I think I finally found something that I absolutely fucking hate more than Lowe's, if that's possible. I wasn't gonna do a review on a bank, except this is a national bank that's available everywhere, and I would love to hear if anybody else out there hates M&T fucking bank as much as I do. Now, I was a happy customer of KeyBank since 2009, September of 09, until like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. And they had a computer glitch that kept charging me money each month, and they couldn't figure out what was causing it, and they couldn't fix it. So I was like, I had no choice, I had to fucking leave. So we can't keep refunding these. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? I'm not supposed to pay them if you can't explain why it's happening sporadically, randomly. So I left. I researched fucking banks. I wanted to know how much money I could take out of the ATM. I wanted to know how long they were going to make me wait on deposits. I wanted to know that everything about KeyBank was fan-fucking-tastic. But you can't charge me $30 a month, $28 a month, like 2 or 3 times a year for 2 years and then 6 months and can't explain. So I had no choice. I had to leave. So I took my business and my personal account to M&T. I mean, I literally met with Adirondack Bank, Community Bank, a couple of credit unions, NBT. I went in and said, like, I don't like changing banks. Don't fuck with my money. I went with M&T. The guy promised me the sun, moon, and stars. And it turned out, fucking lied. And you know how I feel about lying. So, he gave me all these, bells and whistles and shit. And then, all of a sudden, I'm getting charged for shit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Oh, that's okay. We can just switch it to a different account. I'm like, wait a minute. Switch me to a different account? I just gave you the whole runaround spiel about why I had to switch from KeyBank, because they wanted to switch me to a new account very easily. But if KeyBank couldn't explain to me why their system was charging me money, then I didn't trust them as a financial institution anymore. And I didn't want a new routing and account number and another new debit card. I have all those numbers memorized. I've been with them since 09. So if I had to switch, it was a big deal to me. I knew all the people in all the branches. I even had a business rep that I could call directly for customer service if I needed one. So this guy knew it was a big deal for me to switch. And he's like, we'll just switch to a new account. I'm like, you're going to do the same thing to me that I told you KeyBank did to me? And first of all, they tried to sell me on accepting credit cards, all kinds of shit. They want to run my credit to see what rate they're going to charge me to accept credit cards from customers paying. I said, what the fuck does my credit have to do with my customers using a credit card? I said, what if I have shitty credit? You're gonna charge me more money so my customer can use a credit card? Oh, you can just pass the fees along to them. I'm like, well, I don't have shitty credit. But that's unethical. My credit has nothing to do with a customer swiping a credit card. I don't take credit cards. I don't need to take credit cards. My customers are all cash or checks. But if you want to push this product on me, explain to me how relevant my credit score is to finding out what rate you're going to charge me to accept credit. But fuck yourself. Take your credit cards and shove them up your ass. I'll just take cash. I'll use Square. They don't do that. And you go, oh, well, what's the rate at Square? Maybe we can match that. Well, fuck you. How can you match? You just so much bullshit with this fucking sales spiel. Anyway, the ATMs are always down. If you go to the ones in New Hartford, they have 2 or 3 of them, and they're so tight you can't get through there. It's ridiculous. You manage to navigate it. When you get up there, it's a fucking cone. It's out of service. You're going to go back around in a weird curve. Go through the whole parking lot, go back around to the one ATM that's on the outside that is working. Then next time you're like, well, I'm not getting stuck in that line. I'm going to go to the one on the outside. No, that time the cone's there. One of the two never fucking work. The website is always down. The app is always down. They can't figure out why my accounts don't link online and they're supposed to. I got declined when I bought the Milwaukee set online at Home Depot. They thought it was fraud. I said, I'm a fucking contractor. I'm purchasing online at Home Depot. It took me 1 hour and 45 minutes on the phone with the fraud department to get them to approve my fucking purchase. I'm like, do you realize that that's the cost of doing business? Are you kidding me? Now, this is not the first time this has happened. I put cash in the ATM. The ATM doesn't want to take it. Now I have to, last time it was $2,000 in cash, all hundreds, and it go. Sorry, we can't accept it. All of your bills can't be verified. So they give you like out of 2,000, they give you like 1,500 back. They accepted 5. I'm like, now I gotta remember 5 went in. I can get my receipt. You can't even do more deposit. You keep putting the card in, It was like 9 transactions to get $2,000 in. I thought it was a glitch that day. Today I had $1,000 to put in, and I have to put it in because I have bills to pay. These are the 4 receipts that it took me to put out of the 1,000. I got 900 deposited, but it was 16 transactions for the last $100 that I still have, because out of 16 transactions, 4 took $100 out of 1,000, $100 out of 1,000, $600, $100. This last one, 11 times, 12 times, it declined to accept my $100 bill, in business or personal. My fucking ice cream melted and just poured all over me while I was trying to get this fucking deposit made. And now I'm getting hit with a $20 fee every month. I'm like, I'm not supposed to have any fees. Because like, oh, when I signed up, he's like, that's okay, don't worry about it. I'm the branch manager. I can waive those fees every month for like a year before anyone asks any questions. And then after that, you know, I can pretty much just waive them forever. I'm like, okay. So I take that account, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, instead of doing that, why don't we just get you a new account? I'm like, but that's not what you told me you were gonna do. You told me you're gonna waive the fees. Why don't you just waive them for the year, so I don't have to fucking text you or call you every month? And he's like, oh, well, you know, after a year, you know, we can put you in that other account. It's the same thing. I said, how is it the same thing? He's like, your account number won't change. It's the same account. I said, how is it the same account? If that one doesn't charge fees, it's more of a basic checking. It comes with less features, correct? No, all the features are pretty much the same, pretty much. So you're telling me you have 2 business checking accounts that are exactly the same, and one of them has no minimums and no fees, and the other one has no minimums but fees. Do your customers know that? And he's like, no, yes. So they're not the same. You want to give me a lesser account after selling me on this better account that you were going to give me for free. I fucking hate M&T Bank. I want to go back to Key Bank so fucking badly. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because to get business checks, it's like $165. And this douchebag gave me my business checks for free with the fucking stamp that goes on the back in a nice binder. I'm not paying $165 for fucking checks, and I have to have them for business. M&T Bank is by far the worst fucking bank. They're probably worse than Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase, all wrapped into one. Just based in customer service, failed app, failed website, failed machines, lies in sales tactics, and just bullshit. Oh, by the way, they hold your checks for the first 30 days until they know who you are. They hold your checks for 5 days, 5 business days. So it's like 9 days before a bank deposit gets cleared. I'm like, wait a second. And they say they do this for a month. I'm like, okay, so 30 days is coming up. I've been patient. I put these deposits in. Well, if you put a deposit in on Friday night, it doesn't count as 6 o'clock on a Friday night. It doesn't count as a deposit until Monday morning. And that's when the 5 days starts counting. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not Saturday, Monday. It's almost 2 weeks. It's like ridiculous. But Saturday is a business day for them. You can make a deposit on Saturday, and it counts as Monday's business. But if you make a deposit on Friday, that's also Monday's business. I said to him, I should be at 30 days by now. Why are you still holding my checks? He's like, oh, it's 30 business days. I said, 30 business days? So there's 20 business days in the month. So it's not 30 days. It's a month and a half. 6 weeks you're holding my checks? And he's like, oh, it's a statement period. I said, no, that's not how statements work. Because when you send me a statement, it goes from the 28th to the 28th. You're certainly not letting me pay a credit card in 6 weeks. It's 30 days. So you want to get paid in 30 days, but you want to hold my money for 45 days. I see how this works. I'm like, that's bullshit. You didn't tell me 30 business days that you were going to keep holding my checks for 7 days. And that Saturday's a business day, you guys are open. But if I make a deposit on Saturday, it counts as Monday. But if I make a deposit at like 7 o'clock on a Friday, 6 o'clock on a Friday, it counts as Friday, and it will go through on Monday cleared. But if I make it at 7 o'clock on Friday, now it's Monday's business. Other banks, at least KeyBank, doesn't do that. You put that check in at 11:59 p.m., it's that day's business. They clear the first 100 immediately, and the rest of the check the following day. If it's a weekend, it's Monday. But Saturday, Sunday, Friday, they're all the same. Still clears on Monday. None of this bullshit where you put it in on Friday or Saturday or Sunday and it counts as depositing on a Monday and they don't clear it till Tuesday. M&T is a shady scheme, backhanded bullshit bank. And I can't even eat my ice cream now. I'm so disgusted. And I still have to put money in the bank. What the fuck? It's cash. I have to pay bills online. I mean, the $100 isn't gonna make or break me at this point. That's not the fucking point. What if that was all the money I had, and I had to get it into the bank today because I had a payment due, and I got paid today? I can't get the fucking money in the bank. Should I drive around finding another M&T bank, which is like 25 minutes away? I mean, this is bullshit. This is 2024. We're heading into 2025, and your bank can't figure out if my $100 that came out of another bank's ATM is fucking real or counterfeit. I flipped it this way, this way, this way, this. I tried every fucking way to get this money in. It won't take it. How fresh. I was screaming at the ATM. I know that the cameras watch, but there's no sound. I hope there's sound. I'm like, your fucking bank sucks. I almost kicked the machine, but you know what? That's just gonna get me in trouble, and then I'm gonna have to pay for a machine. So I was behaved, other than yelling into the camera that your bank sucks. If you guys have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. If you want to hit like or subscribe, I would love that. Don't fucking bank at M&T. Merchants and traders. The bank for business, for small business. That's me. Nope. You got a big go fuck yourself. Have a great night.